So we're in Conception. Stop by this place to check it out. It's called Tuk Tuk Restaurant and Pastries. Looks like you're on the outside in. Interesting, huh? So this is Brian Basilio, and he's the owner of this restaurant, Tuk Tuk. So how long have you been in operation, man?
We've been 5 years, and going 6 years this coming January next year.
How's business?
It's still good.
What is it? Primarily Filipino food, or you try anything?
We service, but our dishes is Thai and Filipino and little Asian.
Oh wow! So you tried everything. So
Yes. Our best seller for this restaurant is the Tom Yum soup from Thai cuisine and Pad Thai.
what is your favorite dish? What do you like to eat?
For me, it's my favorite dish now. It's the fresh spring roll
Okay.
because
awesome.
healthy food. It's more on vegetables.
And if I had guests that wanted to come over, or we want to inform some of the subscribers, you have a telephone number? What's your telephone number here?
Yes, we have for cell phone number we have 0917 107 9406. And we
Alright.
have Facebook page, Tuk Tuk Restaurant and Pastry. You kindly check that one.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you very much, Brian, for hosting us, man. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
sir. Thank you.
All right. I got Scott and I got Wallace. Two different perspectives. One is a person that lives here full time. Another, a person that pretty much lives here
Starting to live here,
part time, right?
right? Part time, yeah, in a sense. Converting the
Most of
full-time.
the time. Most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
So Wallace, you live here what? 12 months out of the year. You stay here what? 6 months? 8 months?
yeah, that's easily
10
about right.
months?
About,
What would you say?
About 6 months, about half the year out here.
So half the year you live in the Philippines, and then another half of the year you stay in Guam.
Yeah. The other half of the year, I'm trying to stay as close to the Philippines. yeah, Guam, I stay half the year. I'm used to staying over here. So yeah, about half the year here, half the year at home. But I break it up. It's not in succession where there's 6 months total. Maybe I'll stay here 2 months, 3 months, go back home, spend a month and a half, come back. So there's almost like an equitable balance in the allotment of time that I spend here and back home. So now I don't know whether I should call this my home now, because I really, that's what the kind of conversion is, what I want to do. Is just really make this my home. Maybe have Guam be the place that I visit now. So that's where it's leading to.
Initially, when you guys started coming here, what drew you in to basically stay? What is it about the Philippines that calls you?
Now, do you want the truth or do you want the politically correct answer?
No, we want the truth, sir. We want the truth. What is it?
Man,
It's tough, huh? There's a lot of things, I know.
well, culturally, it's a nice culture. The lifestyle's a little bit easier, and there's just a lot to do anytime you want to do it. It's the availability. You want to travel.
Compared to Guam.
Yeah, Guam.
Yeah.
I think if Guam would be the ideal place to stay, because the culture there in Guam is pretty similar here, but it's a unique culture in Guam. The only difference is that as I've gotten older in life, the activities seem to be a little bit more limited in Guam, whereas out here it's endless amounts of activity. City, away from the city, you want mountains, you want beaches, you want entertainment, you want food, continuous, endless. You want density of people, you want to be away from people. It's all here.
Scott, so as a business owner,
Well, a little bit different than Wallace. He's more for pleasure. I'm here more on a life of business.
yeah.
I find it quite interesting for me is because the opportunities are tremendous, and Guam and Philippines is so similar. I get along fairly well here.
And you've been here already for nearly 20 years, huh?
25 years.
Yeah.
I've been here mostly on. A little bit of work in Japan and
What's the toughest part initially trying to break in to do business in the Philippines?
actually I was pretty lucky. We picked a product that was needed in the Philippines, and we're pretty welcome with open arms. So I didn't really have difficult times. Coming from Guam, I understood the culture and the people.
Because people always mention that it's very challenging to do business in the Philippines. But I don't know where that comes from. Is it true or?
Well, I think it's challenging to do business anywhere because if you look at data, I believe 90 to 95% of businesses don't make it in the first 3 to 5 years. So if you're not used to the culture and if you don't have a very well planned, put out place, then definitely you'll have difficulties. There are some challenges with the I would say politics of the market. It is a little bit organized in a lot of ways, but I'm a true believer. As long as you do good service, people come to you. If you're in need and you have a good service, people will definitely come to you and source you out. Especially with us, where we're in the medical field.
Yeah.
And I think that's really separates most of us. I remember when I first came out here, I think there was 11 other companies that we're competing with, and they're just not willing to give better service. At the end of the day, our main goal was to have a better uptime and operate as cheap as possible and still make profit, good profit. And I think that separated us from the rest of the companies.
Speaking of service, it extends to not only his company, but Scott as an individual himself. The kind of service that he gives to folks like us who come out here, the willingness to be a hospital person that probably is very indicative of what his company is about. I mean, Scott, I've known just for a year, and he's been very welcoming.
Right.
To me and to you, Erskine, he's been very welcoming. And to
true.
my brother-in-law, everybody who I've had any kind of connection in.
Scott is the guy. I want to say he's like the ambassador to Pampanga.
He's the ambassador. He's also the bad influencer. Let's not mistake that one, right?
I believe it's our culture. I mean, you go to somebody's village for a fiesta, everybody brings you in with welcome. So something I learned
He's
in
a
Guam.
fiesta man. There you go.
So and I'll be honest with you guys. You come in, it gives me a break to get out of work, excuse to get away. But I think a lot of it's the person itself, the attitude. If you got a bad attitude to start with, then you think bad, and you have those issues. If you got a good attitude and you're a little bit flexible and you're enjoying yourself, look at Wallace. He's always smiling. Never stops smiling.
He's always smiling.
I wonder why.
Well, because I'm around. You try
like-minded, right? Like-minded.
You got to. I mean, I think positive motivation, like-minded, directional. That makes a big difference in your approach, your outlook.